Alberta Cabinet has agreed to voluntarily take a 5% wage reduction as part of their commitment to exercising fiscal discipline.
And good morning. That 5% pay cut is effective this Sunday. It means the Premier will now make $11,000 less per year, dropping Jim Prentice's salary to $207,000 a year. With the falling price of crude, the Premier says it's important that politicians lead by example. Prentice also urging all MLAs to take a similar pay cut. If everyone on the floor of the ledge agrees to a 5% cut, it'll save the province about $600,000 a year. Alberta union leaders, though, very suspicious about this. They think this is a setup to get public sector workers to also take a pay cut.
He better keep his hands off our contracts because a contract is a contract, as a deal is a deal. If we had, as public sector unions had gone to the Premier 4 years ago when oil was at $120 a barrel and said, hey, open up our contracts because we want to get paid more, he would have laughed us out of the room.
We believe that they need to abide by the collective agreement just like we do. And at the end of the day, if there were rollbacks, it won't make any difference anyway. It's such a small amount of the provincial budget that would be impacted by rollbacks that it doesn't make fiscal sense anyway.
The opposition Wildrose party says 5% of a pay cut is not enough, saying they would like to see Cabinet take a 30% pay cut and all other MLAs making 8% less per year. The Wildrose says that would cover a pay raise that came into effect in 2012. In Ottawa today, the federal government is introducing a new anti-terrorism bill. The Prime Minister says it's needed in the name of public safety.
This is designed to fill gaps in existing legislation, to give our police and national security agencies the tools necessary to ensure greater coordination and response to both terrorist threats as well as obviously terrorist incidents.
The proposed legislation comes after a review following the deadly attacks on 2 Canadian soldiers in Quebec and on Parliament Hill in Ottawa last October. The Harper government believes both of those attacks were fueled by Islamic extremism. The proposed legislation today will also include a new criminal code charge against advocating for an act of terrorism in our country. The deadline has come and gone now in Jordan for a prisoner hostage swap. We have not heard from ISIS extremists holding a Japanese journalist and a pilot from Jordan hostage. A message believed to be from the militants demanded the release of a convicted terrorist in Jordan. Yesterday, Jordanian officials demanded proof that their pilot was still alive. Health officials in BC confirming a second case now of the H7N9 bird flu in a human. The husband of a woman diagnosed with the virus has also tested positive now. These are the first 2 human cases reported in North America. The couple is believed to have contracted the virus during a recent trip to China. BC health officials do not expect the virus to spread. About 500 human infections have been diagnosed worldwide in the past couple of years. All of those cases have been either in China or in people who have traveled to parts of Asia. It's now 6:06. An elite Canadian athlete has climbed Niagara Falls. Well, kind of. He has climbed the ice buildup on the edge of the falls. Will Gott is his name. He's a climber. He's an X-Games athlete, scaling about 147 feet, about 45 meters up the frozen cliffs next to the American Falls in Niagara. This is not beside the Horseshoe Falls in Canada. It only took Will about an hour to get to the top. He actually had to climb down a day ahead of time to clear away any loose ice. And some odds makers have the New England Patriots as 2-1 favorites to beat the Seattle Seahawks in Super Bowl 49 on Sunday. But who believes odd makers, right? When you can let animals predict the winner. For that, we look to Lily, this giant panda living right now at the Memphis Zoo. Lily likes the Patriots. Lily, no doubt, thinks the Patriots offense will figure out the Seahawks defense. Full disclosure, Lily was not correct last year. Lily picked Denver. Seattle, of course, won the big game. Will Lily be right this year? We'll find out Sunday. Kickoff set for 4:30 our time. Likes that flag. There you go. That's your news. 6:07 -4 heading back to Joe Bell.